Welcome to Entrepreneurs Lounge, the show that highlights success stories of young entrepreneurs who are making it in various fields against all odds. And as usual, we're shooting at Daughters Home and Exclusive Furniture in Westlands on Parklands Road. I'm very excited for this show because I have very exciting guests lined up for you. And my very first guest with me here is Penina Ntongondu, who is the CEO and founder of Queen's Pizza Deliveries. Welcome to the show, Penina.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm very happy to see you.
Happy to see you too. I only see you on TV.
Thanks, Penina. I've been dying to have you here. Penina, Queen's Pizza Delivery. First of all, you're looking very nice.
Thank you.
If I were to choose and put you in a certain field, I would not have put you into pizza delivery.
Don't let this fool you.
I know. I'm always glad when I'm surprisingly, pleasantly surprised and shocked. So tell me about your business.
My business. Generally, as a kid, I loved cooking since I was little. So I got employed as a cashier in one of the big pizza companies we have in Nairobi, and I think it's also outside the country. So I worked as a cashier for some years. Then I got interested. Remember, I loved cooking, right? So I'm dealing with food, and then it's pizza. Everyone loves pizza.
Everyone loves pizza. I've never tasted a bad pizza. Even when it's really bad, it's okay. My argument is even when it's really bad, it's still edible. You can still eat a bad pizza. Okay.
Yeah, so after being a cashier for so long now, I wanted to learn more about the business. So I learned how to make the dough. I went to the manager, I learned how to close the books. I learned everything I had to learn about the business. So I grew from a cashier and became a manager. So after some time, I got another job at another international pizza company. Still, actually it was here in Westlands, as a branch manager. So I loved the business. I saw how well both companies were doing. I always wanted to start my own business because I knew in hospitality, you cannot do it when you're older, like in your old age. And I'm a lady who wants to have babies and be married and
start
all that.
Start a family.
Exactly. So I could not imagine leaving work at 2 a.m. and I have maybe a kid. So like one day I'll start my own thing. Right. But there's that fear of getting started and leaving a paycheck at the end of every month. So one day I was from work. I had gone to run some errands in the evening for my boss, and I got a bad eye injury. I left for my left eye, and it was very bad, very painful. Recovery took longer than expected. And then now I'm the one who was doing everything for the boss because I was the branch manager. Banking, everything, stocks, everything was me. So I saw I was not performing that I was supposed to, and I didn't like that. Right. I wouldn't like I wouldn't like to do that for my business. You know, even when working for someone.
You want someone to give 100%.
Exactly, I want to give 110%. Right. So I wasn't able to give that. You know, vision is everything, right? And I didn't want to be a liability at the same time, and I wanted time to heal. And I did not want to put my boss's company at a standstill because of my injury. So I quit. And then I had learned so much, I'm like, you know what? I can bake pizzas from home. So with the experience from both companies, I started Queen's Pizza. I just got 2 friends, I called them. I want to start doing this from home. Remember, I had numbers from suppliers from my previous employers. Right. So I called the suppliers, I made orders. So I invited my friends to X-Pizza for my employees. We made pizza at home. We tried everything from scratch, and Queen's Pizza was born.
Oh my God, Penina, you have such a beautiful story and you're such a beautiful soul. Like, not so many people would say, you know what, I'm not doing enough. I'm shortchanging my boss. And I'm so glad at least you had the skills. Now, you've gotten out of employment. You've decided to start your own thing. First of all, how long has it been since you started Queen's? And from that point where you're calling your friends to help you out, what has the journey been like? Just walk us through. From that point when you said, was it easy? Did you right away pick up, or like, how did that work out for you?
Quitting was somehow easy because I was in so much pain. And if it's your eyes, you're supposed to keep them rested most of the time. So quitting was not so hard. The hardest part was getting started, because now I'm used to using these machines, these commercial equipment. I am doing things from scratch in the house. If it's dough, I'm using my hands. I don't have a dough mixer. I can't afford it. So it wasn't hard quitting. It was hard getting started and getting it right.
How did you then go about all the difficulties? First of all, what were some of the difficulties? Away from not having, obviously, the equipment, then you also have to worry about a market. Because the reason why it was easy for these other internet, they have a name. Especially with pizza, people have loyalty to certain...
I know, just the name.
Exactly. So just talk to me about some of the challenges and how you managed to weather them.
Challenges I had then and now are different. So back then, doing it from home, challenges was number one, getting your name out there. Number two, getting them to taste your pizza. They have their loyalty to another company. Even their kids love that pizza. So convincing them to taste your pizza just once, and then when they get it right the first time.
You should have called me.
I wish I knew you. Yeah. So the first thing I did was I came up with a name. Called my mom, who was alive still back then. I called her and told her I have a name, Queen's Pizza. She's like, now.
Wait, did you tell me the timelines? Now, when did you start Queen's? Like, around what year?
Okay. Testing it was 2013, December 12th, because it was a holiday, I remember. So I called my friends, Pato and Kevo, they came. We baked, we ate like 10 pizzas.
Yeah. You can always count on boys to eat.
And then in the evening, I called my mom. And then I'm like, we've done it. It's not perfect just yet, but I want to get started. Then I'll perfect as I go. And then I gave her the name in the evening of the same day. So the name, I came up with it in a few hours because I'm like, it has to be deliveries because I'm doing it from home. So she told me the first thing, tomorrow morning, go to Sharia House and register your name. That's what I did. That time I think it was 800 bob, so I registered a business. And then next thing was getting a logo, getting flyers, making a menu. So I did all that. Then I'll walk around giving menus around the estate of Buruburu. Sometimes we'll feel bad because we get someone throw it out. But you keep doing it because you know you've used money to print that small flyer, small menu. So and then I created a Facebook page. So this started giving me some market. And then even walking around helped because they can see they can get pizza from their neighbor anytime. Even when the other people have closed, you can call me at midnight. And I will wake up and I'll sort you out. It's money I want. I have to pay my bills, remember? I don't have a check at the end of the month. So if I don't work hard, I go hungry and my doors get locked. So I have to work hard. So the challenges were getting my name out there, getting the quality of my pizza right, and actually keeping friends, because now you're broke. What people don't tell you as an entrepreneur, you're broke 95% of the time as a startup, because everything you get goes into the business. If you start buying stuff and all that, like us ladies who love shopping, if you go buy shoes, then I don't have money to buy cheese for my pizzas. Yeah.
So there are a lot of sacrifices.
A lot of sacrifices. But I've enjoyed the journey so far.
So when did it then start making sense? At what point, even through all that struggle, waking up at midnight to make pizzas, walking through Buruburu Estate, having your friends to taste it out, at what point did you feel like, you know what, this actually will make money for you? At what point did you break even, or did you feel like, you know what, you're achieving what you set out to achieve?
Call. As I told you, I love talking. I talk a lot. I love networking. I love making friends.
Same.
So I
we should
walk.
be best friends. I feel like we're so similar.
To do that.
Okay.
So I will walk into offices, share my menus and all that. So at some point, my mom died. Who was no, that's okay. It's part of life, right? So she was the first person to see something in me, and she was willing to sell land and invest. But we lost her the following month. So I started walking around. After now her passing, you know, I stopped working for several months because of the stress and all that. So to revive this client, now this was my biggest client, it's corporate. I went with 6 small pizzas for free and flyers, and I went during lunchtime. 1 p.m. I was there.
When people are hungry.
Yes, I went there, gave free pizzas, gave flyers. Then I spoke to them about Queen's Pizza. I started getting orders from them. So my first big order, I remember I delivered many pizzas for lunch and for dinner. I made profits of 20K.
Wow.
Okay, in a day.
Wow.
I'm like, you know what? Even if this is what I make, like I get 2 orders, that's 40K. That's more than I was getting paid when I was employed, right? I'm like, I am doing this. There is no way I'm going back. So every day was not like that, obviously. But I knew where I was heading. I even had side hustles at some point because pizza was not, at that time, couldn't pay my bills. But I enjoy making pizzas. Like if I don't bake, like for a day or two, I feel like something is missing. So I love cooking, I love baking the pizzas. So that's what kept me moving. I'm like, you know what? I am going to keep doing this.
So how long into when you had started did things look up for you? Did you make that 20,000 in profit? Did it have to be a long wait, or how long did that actually?
Let's say about 2015.
Wow.
2015, 2016.
So from 2013 when you tested to 2015, you were pretty much just vumilia.
Yes, vumilia, you lazima vumilia, you have to suffer, man. I'm telling you, you lose friends. Penina is always broke. She's not fun. And then, I don't know, nothing comes easy.
Now let's also talk about the aspect of competition, because you're in a space which has big local brands, which has big regional brands, which has even big international brands. What would be your conversation? What would be your statement on competition, and how are you managing to stay on top of that?
You know, the funny thing with pizzas, mostly it's multinationals. We don't have like a Kenyan owned pizza brand. So as I've told you, I worked for 2 before. So I knew what was missing. Some pizzas are way overpriced, that some people are not able to taste pizza, they just hear of pizzas. Right. So that's one. It doesn't mean being cheap and giving bad quality, but you can have that price that one can afford, at least can take a date once in a month or something. And now my products are all fresh and everything is sourced here in Kenya. I don't outsource. We know we have to grow our economy, right? We have to create jobs. So when it comes to pizza sauce, I don't buy in supermarkets, anything with preservatives, no. I make fresh every morning, a fresh batch every morning. If it's the dough, I make it myself from scratch. Everything, I make it from scratch. That is how I stand out. Yeah.
So with that said then, how do you source your clientele? I mean, I know you've grown since you've had to walk into offices and you're fully, you're just a delivery. You don't have a shop where someone can walk in. You still do your pizzas at home and have them delivered, right? So how do you put the word out there of what you do?
Right now we have a location.
Oh, nice. You now have a location?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
It's month 2. I had an opportunity to be on KCB Lansdowne last year.
Yes, I wanted to hear about that. That was my next question.
I was able to be on KCB Lansdowne last year, which was a blessing. Right. And it was so scary because nothing good comes easy, right? And I got a deal. I got an investor. And we've worked a lot together to try to get it right. Thank you so much. And we opened on August 1st.
Oh, congratulations.
That is last month.
So now with that said, you've now opened your premises, you're 2 months in. What's the dream? Where do you want? I mean, obviously yours has been a journey. It has obviously been a journey. Now that you're where you are, you're competing. You're the first local pizza.
I know, right?
Penina, come on.
It's amazing,
right?
right?
You give yourself a pat on the back every day. But then now what's the next step going forward?
We're not perfect just yet because we are growing. I've seen so much growth. People have shown so much support. You have no idea. Kenyans are amazing. Right. People are coming in just to say hi and then they buy a pizza and they are happy that I'm in the hood in Buruburu. One of their own is, doing it. Yeah, doing their thing.
The question is, now that you're here where you are, you've opened up an establishment, you've made it through, what's the next step? What's your dream for Queen's Pizza Deliveries?
Many branches across Nairobi and, God willing, outside Nairobi. But right now, I just want to see my baby right now. Now I have a firstborn. Right now, things are not easy because, now I'm running a business. Before I had this comfort, I'm in my house, right. But now you have employees, you have clients you're facing every day. Exactly, you have targets. So it's not easy, but the dream is to have many branches, several branches across Nairobi. And also to influence someone out there who has their dream and they're lying on and sleeping on it. to do something about it, because nothing is impossible. Yeah.
Penina, thank you very much for coming onto the show. You have such a beautiful story. It's been so long since I sat down with someone and felt as touched as I am. I wish you all the best. And I'm always so rooting for, first of all, ladies, and secondly, for local brands to just make it, and competitively even against the
You better come
brands.
soon, yeah?
Today.
To
We're
Buru
going
Buru.
right after here.
Okay, let's go.
You didn't know?
Pizza on me, though.
What? I was hoping you'd say that. I'm honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I wish you amazing things, and you're doing amazing.
Thank you so much.
Don't go anywhere. We're coming back with you. I have to take a very, very quick break and move on, and I'm really, really touched, guys. I'm struggling to keep myself together, but I need this break to do it. So don't go anywhere. You can keep the conversation going on our social media pages at Metropole TV KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Entrepreneurs Lounge, and my next guest is founder and senior partner of Favier Productions, Lucy Minor. You're very welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Favier, so fancy.
Favier means favor in French.
Oh, so now tell me about Favier Productions.
Okay, so Favier is a company. We deal in corporate film and humanitarian documentary coverage. So trying to partner with companies to be able to bring to life the stories that people need to change society with. So just giving a voice to everybody.
So how did you come up with this concept? Did you feel like there were so many untold stories out there? Basically, how did this baby come to you?
So first of all, I studied media, my background. Then I didn't want to really struggle too much trying to get a TV job because it's very popular. So then I got background in photography. So was employed somewhere, learned the discipline of 8 to 5 and how to do everything, then started Favier.
So who do you work with? What's the concept? What does Favier do? On a normal day when you wake up and you go to work, what does your job entail?
Trying to work with NGOs a lot, so we're always partnering with ARU, humanitarian aid, so that we can be able to touch lives and make a difference. And with time, those stories being publicized so much, you're able to change the culture of the country. The same way Rwanda sometimes really make sure their media does not talk about bad things. So trying to make a voice of, can we actually communicate good things that will make our public see us better? Yeah.
So who then do you target? Do you, after you're done doing the productions, you're trying to change the narrative? Do you work with broadcast houses as the production? You're the production company that does it, right?
Yes, photography company doing it.
The photography company that does it, and then what happens in terms of now giving a platform, putting the product out there?
So most of the time it's because we are the photography partners for those NGOs. So then for them they're using, yes. And most of the time, we also do corporate photography. So that means you're having an event, you're having a launch, we come and do that. So photography services, solutions.
How long have you been doing this, and what has been the journey like from when you started? Because you said you did this because, you have a background in media. You are not trying to go through the hustle that 3/4 of us went through to try and secure that job. You are smarter than a lot of people out there. So my question then is, what has the journey been like, and from where you started to where you are today?
Okay, so it's been 5 years now, started 2014. I remember my first internship at KNA and went to VOI, and that's how we coined the name Favier. I think I got a lot of favor during that time when I went for internship, gathering news, and then I kept thinking, if I ever start a brand, I had no idea I would call it Favier, because thinking, what's cool that goes with Favier, favor, then came up with Favier. The journey, it's been beautiful. I think we've experienced a lot of favor because how we started is, the first time was you go and I took pictures of a friend, and then from there they publicized it. Then from there people started calling in, so it happened. So that was a lot of favor. Then 2 years down the line, when everything is happening, people are calling you, come to a birthday, come to this. Then I was able to now think, okay, this is a business. I need to be more intentional, put targets, get yourself out there. So it's been a beautiful journey so far.
So you mentioned that you started out in an internship, and it's when that you started saying, if I ever. That's what you didn't know if it would ever happen, but that's when the dream started to get born. My question is, during that time when you were, we would call it employment, much as it was an internship, you were still under someone's stewardship. So what role then did employment play into like what you're now doing, Favier Productions, do you feel like that's a part of your life you could have done away with and started with this, or does employment help in terms of shaping your business? What skills did it bring on board to what you're doing today?
I love your question.
I'm glad.
Because I feel like everybody
for you.
meant for me. It was in, if I didn't go through employment, it would have been impossible to run this, because I feel like people who just start, they don't have the discipline of knowing you have to wake up and you have to meet targets. And especially in our industry, when it's creatives, you want to wake up and know, okay, today I don't feel like editing those pictures. Let me not edit them. I'll do them overnight. So the discipline of actually being able to do that and being employed got me here. And I guess it will be coming challenges, but now when grooming a team, people are now less disciplined because they haven't gone through formal employment.
So at the point when you decided to embark on Favier Productions, what did you have in place? How did this journey start? And the reason I'm asking this is there could be an entrepreneur sitting back home listening to your stories, but they just don't know how to get started. So when you're giving advice to an entrepreneur when it comes to now, they have the idea, they have the dream, but getting started, what would you say? What was it like in your experience?
I feel like everybody who starts a business starts thinking, oh, I need to go and buy a big boda to deliver. I need to do this. So let's say, first thing, make sure you have a market. Go test your first 50 people. Once the 50 people can buy from your neighbor, from the passerby, and they can buy, then you can invest. Instead of thinking, I need to go and buy all the big things to start cooking a huge meal and start opening a hotel, yet nobody has tried to eat your food. Your friends have not tried it. Your family has not tried to buy a product from you. So test the brand, the market, because people really start big and all those become losses, because then you realize, oops, the demand is not as high. So what I did is, at first, I didn't need to go and buy 1 million cameras to start the company. I knew, okay, can I hire? Can I borrow a friend? So from there, it was able to easy in 6 months know, okay, I've actually made enough money to be able to buy my first camera. Yes, that's what I could give advice to.
That makes a lot of sense. But now if we were to talk about the front of challenges, because 5 years ago, you're young, you're a young girl, you were so much younger then, and like you had got out of school, you had just done an internship, we wouldn't say you had too much experience. So would you say it was a smooth ride right from the get-go? And what are some of the challenges, if any, that you encountered that maybe you can inspire and motivate some other entrepreneurs in case they encounter the same, how they can get out of them?
So one thing, I'm over optimistic, so I easily forget things that dragged me down or that I encountered as challenges.
So you don't
or
remember?
I really appreciate that, okay, this is a growth process, it's not a challenge. So by me thinking of that, then sometimes I forget the late nights that I would have to wait for a friend to bring the camera, or maybe they forgot me, and me thinking, let me go look for many more things. So challenges at the beginning, my mantra is always solve the solution, figure out about how much you struggle after. So then with me knowing that I have to get a solution around this, oh, this has not worked, this has collapsed, how do you solve it first, then you can cry about it later. So my energy of that optimistic then made it a bit easier for me then to bearably go through it and not complain and feel like I'm so beaten down and depressed that this is not working. So I guess with me knowing that it has to go, it has to go, it has to go, made it a lot easier for me to really get there. Yeah.
So Lucy, this 5-year journey that you've been on and everything that you've been through, what would you say have been your greatest achievements, the things that have made it worth it? That every day when you go to sleep, you're like, oh, thank God I started Favier Productions.
Wow. I feel like we're still a small baby, but the milestones I could say is we're working with some of the good brands in the country, and we've met really good company CEOs, and just being able to have conversations with them and interacting with them has been really eye-opening, that, okay, this is just normal conversation. And then with that, being able to get to a point where I can appreciate, we can go to a village and want to donate unga and just try to learn, why do you stay here? Why do you not move, take a bus and go to Nairobi and say you're in Kenya? Why are you thinking you're not in Kenya? So just, I think biggest achievement is now I feel like it's a luxury to be in a space where you want to actually get to understand community, because sometimes you're too busy with your own life and, oh, I haven't met my rent, to think, okay, can I go and understand why are you in Turkana, why are you in this place? So then maybe my mindset slowly changing is a luxury that I would say I'm happy that we can be able to go and change a life or touch a heart.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're working with some of the good brands in the country. Not a lot of people can say, or when it comes to positioning yourself, how did you manage? How then did you become, like, if I'm an NGO and I'm looking at doing a documentary or trying to tell a certain story, or tell a narrative, push a certain narrative, how then did you position yourself as Favier Productions, that as an NGO, you're the person I'll look to do this for me? What do you feel like you do differently from other photographers, from other people doing such productions in this industry?
My answer is excellence. Excellence here to mean the discipline that I know that I learned from formal employment is the same one. Sometimes I know, again, as I said, artistry, industry people are not always as disciplined, or you don't quite mind if you got there 5 minutes later, or if you didn't quite deliver on the second you said you would. So, and also a lot of PR conversations, being able to know that as I'm shooting, I can still have a very proper conversation with you and I'm not there. I like to say that I don't hope that when I'm coming to your event, you're thinking that paparazzi person is eating at the background behind the tent. Right. How you carry yourself, I always say, they will be like, oh, hey, come sit with us. And at that point, that's the point you're actually having proper conversation for them to think, oh, she actually has a solution, or they seem to actually be in a conversation where she's a corporate person. It's not paparazzi akakai hapo kando. So that's what I would say. So the excellence and the discipline that I learned from formal employment, and now being able to know, let's have a conversation, I want to get to know the person. It's not just that I'm there to take the picture and go home. Yeah.
So when we talk about entrepreneurship and this journey that you've been on, if I were to ask you your 3 greatest lessons, like if I brought you a young person, if I brought you young Lucy when you were just an intern right now, and I asked you to mentor them and start them off on this journey, what would you tell them?
What comes to my mind is know your numbers. I would ask her to keep a receipt of everything. Or did you use this? Did you know your numbers? I wasn't over exorbitant about moving around and doing things with company money, but I would want to know your numbers. Do you know where you're getting your sales from? Is it from referrals? Would you then invest more in that? So just knowing that, okay, I think you're doing more of what works and what is not, but you only know what works by you having documented. So I would ask her to really put in place those systems where she would be able to know, let me not invest in this marketing platform and do this because that's where this is giving us more results. Yeah.
Lucy, you're doing great, and thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I really, really hope that Favier Productions keeps getting more Favier.
Amen.
See what I did there?
Yes, I did.
As you keep going on to what you're going, keep doing amazing things and keep inspiring young people out there. We're going to take a very, very quick break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we have so much more for you right here on Entrepreneurs Lounge. Welcome back to Entrepreneurs Lounge, and it's time for that much coveted and waited upon segment that we call the quick fire round. Now, Penina, Lucy,
yeah.
I know you guys have also been waiting for this round. Maybe anxiously, I don't know how you've been waiting, but I know you've been waiting. So just to give you a brief of what happens in this round is I'll ask 5 very general questions. The trick is to get the right answer out fastest. So when I ask, try not to cut me. Of course, you might think you know what I'm going to ask, but you don't. So let me get the whole question out. And then if you know the answer, just say it out fast. If you say it together at the same time, you'll both get half a point. Mm-hmm. But whoever says it out loud first gets 1 point at the end of the round. Highest correct answers wins our quick fire round queen. And your tiara shall be handed to you. Ready, guys? You look ready, guys.
Okay, we are.
Just of course you are.
Yeah, should, right?
Okay. Yeah. I'm starting right now. Quick fire question number 1. Which is the world's most popular brand of cigarettes?
What?
Guys, it starts with an M. Don't overthink it. Which is the world's most popular brand of cigarettes? They used to even have an ad on TV. Pardon?
Mastermind?
No.
Of course not.
So they used to have an ad on TV for the longest time of a cowboy, like some cool guy.
What?
It starts with an M, ends with an O.
What? I have no idea.
The color of the pack is red, like you're red, white. Guys, come on, you're not even trying. But it's a good thing. That obviously shows you're not smokers.
Oh, the only thing that comes is sportsman. Remember, it was red and white.
Yeah,
That's the only thing
sportsman.
that
It starts
comes.
with M. Should I just tell you?
I don't know. I have no
She
idea.
looks like she's
I should
I mean,
know.
it's
I'm just.
guys, it's Marlboro. Have you heard of Marlboro?
I have, and I see how it's
I'll give
written.
it to you just in case you guys like. It's okay.
We don't do cigarettes.
No points. I don't.
We are good girls.
It's just general knowledge. Fine, guys. That one, no one has under points. Question number 2. Which classic Nokia game was made available for other smartphones via an app in 2015? Guys, the Nokia game, the classic Nokia game. Like even when you had
Snake?
those little. Pardon?
Snake.
That's it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's Snake.
What, is the name Snake?
that game?
Snake something. I remember it, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the most popular Nokia game. So a point to Lucy.
Yay!
Question number 3. How many continents are there?
How many what?
Continents. Guys, continents. Africa.
6.
No. Come on, guys. How many continents?
She's counting. Me, I'm just thinking.
Close. Very, very. Yes.
Yeah, there's
7.
I actually did think it was 7.
It is 7.
I think you were guessing, right?
I know there are 7-ish, 6, 8. Yeah.
Penina, this one is yours. Let me look for one. No. I have. Let's first. This one is gonna be yours.
3 down, 2 to go.
3 down, 2 to go. Question number 4. I'm really trying to give you this one. Which zodiac sign? Do you guys know zodiac signs? Like, when they ask you, what are you? I'm a Scorpio, I'm a Gemini. You know those ones. Those
You only
zodiac
know your
signs.
month, but
No,
continue.
you're gonna know this. Which zodiac sign? And Penny, I'm trying to give you this one. She has to. I'm really trying to give you this one. Which zodiac sign is half man, half horse?
Gosh.
It's not Pisces, right? I'm guessing mine.
Starts with S. Half man. In fact, the man is an archer. He has an arrow. Half man, half horse.
Sagittarius?
Oh wow, you did. Good. I actually just know my.
It is Sagittarius.
Only.
Why are you thinking Sagittarius?
No, I only know my star.
What's your zodiac?
Cancer.
That's why I said Pisces, because
Fine.
Actually, wow.
Either way, she was right.
I know you were gonna
That's
get
fair
it.
to her. Either way, it was yours. So 2-1. This is the final question, guys, of the day. This is the tiebreaker question. What is the largest bone in the human body?
Largest?
Bone.
Bone marrow?
No.
Of course not.
It's the thigh bone. It's also known as the thigh bone. This bone right here is the largest bone in the human body, but what's it called? It starts with F and ends with R.
what?
Guys, science, think. Yeah, someone's even whispering it. Someone on set and I'm going to throw them off. It's the longest bone is also known as the thigh bone, or guys, the femur. Have you heard of the femur before?
I will even read it out.
FEMUR.
We entrepreneurs, but we're not geniuses. We're just entrepreneurs.
No way.
What do you mean? You've never heard of that word in your life?
Not really. Like I don't want to say something about primary and not learning that, but not
Oh my
really.
God, I'm sure you learned this. Someone who's Kenyan here on set said it, so I'm sure at least at some point. Maybe that's the day you missed class. Guys, so who's the winner? Ah, you're such a good winner. So you are our
so
winner,
hard.
Lucy, regardless. We're very happy to have you on the show. It's big. So, but yeah, your tiara will be handed to you as you leave. So unfortunately, we've come to the end of this episode of Entrepreneurs Lounge, but you can keep the conversation going on our social media pages at Metropole TV KE on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. As usual, we've been shooting at Daughter Showman exclusive furniture in Westlands on Parklands Road. Don't go anywhere.